Good evening, folks. I'm Kenny D.
Yeah, and I'm WD.
Welcome to the PVA show. Well, you know, folks, we're well past our prime. And we're just two old farts out here having a good time. I've sang my songs and I've told my stories. I never became famous. I never had all that glory. I never got rich or even made a lot of money. But I could sing a song and folks thought that I was funny. I've raised my two boys and I've loved my wife. You know, folks, I think I've had a pretty good life. But then one day a stroke that only took seconds. It could have sent me straight to heaven. All my friends said, man, you were lucky. Well, that's hard to tell. When I think back on things I've done, I might have went straight to hell. There I was all laid up with just one eye, parts of my body all paralyzed. And you know, folks, all I wanted was things to be the way they used to be. Well, each day I'd get a little bit better. Then one day I think God sent me a letter. Inside was a shiny new nickel. At first I thought it was just some kind of a riddle. But I took a little time and I went online just to see why they wanted a nickel and not a dime. I learned a lot that day about what they had to say. These people called the PVA. So the next day I headed south, about 2 hours away, to Bay Pines Hospital near Tampa Bay. I went inside to really see. And what I saw, folks, would have changed the man in me. For there were veterans, young and old. They needed our help deep down in their souls. They were just trying to cope with life, just to cope with life in this world. You know, first I saw a pretty young lady. In her one arm, she was holding her baby. She said, "This is my boy, and I hope he never has to go to war. You see, I'll protect him because I'm his mother. But the doctors, they've told me I'll have no others." Well, folks, I just hung my head. I didn't know what to say. Then a young man in a wheelchair, about 33, he was looking me over, and he just stared at me. Then he began to smile, and he said, "Sir, if I had 2 good legs, why, I'd march 100 miles. He said, "I hear you're a comic. Can you make me laugh?" I said, "Son, that's my job. I'll bust my ass." And that's when my old buddy here, WD, stepped in and said,
Hey, how you doing there, my new friend? You know what, son? My uncle got his tongue shot off in Vietnam. But he don't talk about it too much anymore.
Well, the young man, he thought for a second, then he broke into a laugh. And his wife, she smiled and thanked us as she passed. And I thought to myself, what kind of life will this family have? Why don't we help our veterans and pray and help these people we call the PVA? Well, like I said, folks, I'm well past my prime. And you know, folks, I've never been the praying kind. But that night I hung my head, and these are the words that I said. Dear God, bless our great nation. Let us honor all those that have fallen, protecting our land and our way of life. But please, Lord, let the people of this great nation realize all those that are left wounded and paralyzed. Well, God, I started singing and telling stories again, but now I sing to help others find their way. So Lord, bless this country and bless the folks we call the PVA, Paralyzed Veterans of America.